Hello everyone, I'm extremely proud to announce that the ultimate Star Wars The Old Republic romance guide is now available. Although there's no video version of this guide, this text-based romance guide lists over 70 different romances from big to small available in Star Wars The Old Republic for every class. The link will be in the description. Here's a quick overview about how to use it. Scroll down to the big list by class, find your class, find your gender, and that'll list all the options you have available for romance within the game. These can be anything from a quick fling on one of the planets, to your companions that you can romance, to the companions available in the later game to all classes. Once you've found the right list, you can click on the individual names to learn a little bit more about those romances and to learn exactly how to start them and when they start. What's available for romance in Star Wars The Old Republic has really grown since the launch of the game. If you're not familiar with romancing characters in this game, first off, you've got certain characters, companions, that are only available to your class. For example, the Jedi Consular does not have the same companions as the Smuggler does. Within each class, each gender, the female type of character or the male type of character, usually has one main romance available for them within their companions, and then sometimes they'll have a bonus romance. On top of that, as they play within their class story out in the open world, there will be certain romances that are locked to their class. For example, you can romance a noble up on Alderaan as a bounty hunter and actually become a baroness. But you can't do that on any other class. In addition, there's also a few small romances available in the open world that are available usually to the entire faction. For example, all male Imperial characters can romance up Lord Zavrasha, who's available on Nar Shaddaa. And she isn't confined to just a single class. In the expansions is where things really started to get interesting, and there are more romances that are available to all the classes in the entire game now, on top of those original big companion romances. The most well-known two are going to be Lana Beniko, a Sith, and Theron Shan, a Republic spy. And those two characters are very open when it comes to romance. They really like the main character no matter what their class is or what their gender is. Unlike the previous companions, they are not restricted. There's also two other romances that I really like that are not restricted to class or gender, and those are Koth, Vortana, and Arkin. But what's interesting about these two is that they are very restricted based on the choices that you make during the story. For example, you can make choices that will lock you out of even having them alive, much less being able to romance with them. So for this big romance guide, I've gone through basically every romance. For the more complicated ones, I've given you more information about how to not lock yourself out and how to make sure that you lock in the romance so it's registered in the game. And I've also gone through and listed some of the other fun options that you have available for the romances and kind of where you can initiate them in the storyline, or rather what planet they start on. So I hope you'll have fun going through the list. Either take a look at some of the big romances and choose which one you wanted to have for your character, or check out some of the small romances along the way and make sure not to miss them. Another fun thing that this list has is videos based on the different reactions and different paths that your romance can take. So for the more complex ones, it can show you what your different choices might look like, and for the less complicated ones, it might show you what it looks like if you decide to decline the romance and you guys decide to just stay friends or decide to break up altogether. At this point in the game, if you've played Knights of the Fallen Empire, you may be aware that your companions leave for a period of time and then eventually return to you through different types of quests. There's been a ton of updates to the game since that departure, and at this point, all of the original companion characters have returned within the story through different cutscenes. So if you're trying to find out when and where your companion comes back and how you resume that romance, this guide also shows exactly how to continue your romance after the Knights of the Fallen Empire expansion. For most of the returning companions, you must have already locked in a romance with them by doing the companion stories that are quite easy to get into. You just do them on your ship. Just make sure to do them before you start Knights of the Fallen Empire. However, there are three interesting exceptions, and these are kind of some very popular characters that BioWare seems to have put some extra effort into, and that's Kira Carson, Nadia Grell, and Jason Wilson. So these characters, not only can you start a new romance with them if you didn't have one before. If you decide to start a romance with them, you can start with a female or a male character, unlike the previous version of them that you could only start with a male character. I had a lot of fun tracking down all those fun side romances you can have while leveling, learning about the different conflicts within the romances, what will end one and what will continue one, as well as the different paths those romances can take. As far as I can tell, there's over 70 different romances currently available in the game. So have fun looking through the list, and may the Force be with you!